Hey fourth graders, this is Mrs. Eisenstein and today we are looking at patterns created by shadows. So this is an indoor shadow lab that we can do with just a few items that we have in our classrooms and we may have them at home. And so I have some dark colored construction paper. I just grabbed 2 sheets and I have a ruler that I can use to measure. I need a flashlight. And then I need an object that I can stand up. So I'm going to actually use the lid to my little marker here. So what I did before is I folded my paper in half and so that I could label it. I wanted to label the east and the west because I know that the sun rises in the east and it sets in the west. I labeled straight up ahead as noon. And then I just put some other markers on here to kind of indicate where I'm going to be measuring my shadow from, because this is modeling how the sun appears to travel across the sky from sunrise to sunset and the impact that it causes on our shadows. So we want to see what that pattern looks like with our shadows. The other page that I have, I just took my cap to my marker and I'm going to set it there, and then I'm going to trace around my cap so that I have a good place so I know where it stands. And then this is going to actually stand up in the background like this, and we're going to use the flashlight to cast a shadow, and then we're going to measure it with our ruler. So we're going to turn off our light and change the angle that we're recording from so that we're actually able to see more of all of the background and all of the shadows that. All right, so we are changing our angle. We are going to turn off our light and turn on our flashlight. So I'm looking at, I've set it down so that the flashlight is at sunrise on the east, it is laying flat to the ground, and I'm going to actually come over here and measure with my ruler. So come over and measure with the ruler how far the shadow is. We may need to turn on the light just a smidge so we can see that. There we go. So when the light was off, I'm going to turn the light off and measure out where my shadow stopped. And then I'm going to turn the light on so we can get it back in here in the frame with the light. And the shadow actually stopped at 14 centimeters. Okay. So that was the length of my shadow at sunrise. All right, so now we're going to turn the light off again, and we're going to move, keeping the flashlight at the same position, because remember, the sun doesn't move all over the sky like a crazy thing. It follows a set path, and we're going to stop at our next marker, and now I can see that the shadow actually ends at about 7 centimeters, okay? And we're going to come up to the next stopping point, and now our shadow is in between about 4 and 5 centimeters, okay? And we're going to continue up again, and now we've shrunk down to 3 centimeters. And now we're directly overhead, and it looks like my shadow is completely gone. Okay, and so now we're heading towards the afternoon time. So I'm going to flip my ruler around because I know that my shadow appears on the opposite side. I'm going to go to that first mark, and it is kind of hard to see. It's about 3 centimeters. And then we're going to move to the next mark, and it is about 5 centimeters. Okay. And then we're going to move down to the next mark. And we're down to, looks like about 8.5 centimeters. And then when we come down to sunset, then our shadow continues to about 14 centimeters where we were before. Okay. And then we know that after the sun sets, that's sunrise on the opposite side of the world. So the sun is passing over on the other side. And then it begins the next day again. All because the earth does what? Okay. So now you're going to have some additional instructions from your teachers, and we will see you again soon.